Las Vegas Sayadaw. In the time of the Buddha, they didn't have matches. If they needed to make a fire, what did they do? They would use 2 sticks or 2 stones and rub them together until they got warm. ND, then hot, and then later, fire. See? They'd get fire from rubbing 2 sticks or stones together until a fire was started. But what happens if you rub 2 stones together until they get warm, then hot, then hotter, and then you stop just before a fire starts? The stones get cold again. Then, if you start again, the stones get warm. But what if you stop again? Cold. You can't make a fire that way, right? Try the best you can for the rest of your life. Don't stop halfway. From the time you get up in the morning until the time you fall asleep at night, try to practice the best you can. This is our duty. We should do this until we reach our destination and succeed at our goal. These are the 9 ways to sharpen our mental faculties. When our mental faculties become powerful and strong, we gain enlightenment. What are the 5 mental faculties? Confidence/faith, effort, mindfulness, concentration, and wisdom. We need to use these 9 ways to sharpen them so that they can be powerful and strong. If we haven't gained enlightenment yet, why is that? It is because our mental faculties aren't so strong or powerful. Why aren't they so strong or powerful? Because we lack one of these 9 ways. So we should examine ourselves to know what way, thing, or technique we still need to fulfill. Use these techniques, use these guidelines, and you can fulfill your spiritual goal. The 7 Bojjhaṅga. Now we go to Bojjhaṅga or Bodhyanga. Bojjhaṅga means Bodhyanga. Bodhi means enlightenment, and Anga means factor or constituent. So Bojjhaṅga means the constituents of enlightenment. If we practice meditation and reach the knowledge of rising and falling, that is, we see the arising and disappearing of mind and matter, at that time we are experiencing the 7 Bojjhaṅga. 1. Satya Sambojjhaṅga. Sam here means good. Sati is mindfulness, right? This is mindfulness, which is one of the constituents of enlightenment. We're talking about mindfulness, or awareness. 170 Bodhipakkhya Sangha. The Paramatha Dhamma, reality, is sati. Sati can normally associate with how many types of consciousness? It can normally associate with the 59 types of subhana, beautiful, citta, but here it associates with only 42 types of consciousness. What are they? They are the 8 types of Mahakusala, the 8 types of Mahakirya, and the 26 types of Apanajavana. So sati in these 42 types of consciousness is called Sati Sambojjhaṅga. 2. Dhamma Vichaya Sambojjhaṅga. Dhamma means truth, right? Vichaya means investigation. So this is investigation of the truth. The truth means the nature of mind and body. The reality of investigation of truth is amoha. What's amoha? It is wisdom. But it's not normal wisdom. It is vipassana knowledge. This wisdom sees mind and matter as they truly are. This is amoha. This amoha is one kind of mental factor. It normally associates with 47 types of consciousness, but here, it only associates with 34 types. What are they? They are the 4 types of sense-sphere wholesome consciousness, accompanied by wisdom, the 4 types of sense-sphere functional consciousness, accompanied by wisdom, and the 26 types of Apanajavana. This is the reality of Dhammavicaya Sambojjhaṅga. The reality is very important. If we study Suttanta discourses, we won't see mention of realities. They just call it wisdom, but now we know exactly what realities are. 3. Virya Sambojjhaṅga. This is effort or energy, right? We can also say that it's endeavor or diligence. Virya normally associates with 73 types of consciousness, but here, it just associates with 42 types. It is the same 42 types as Sati Sambojjhaṅga. Virya Sambojjhaṅga refers to virya in these 42 types of consciousness. 4. Pita Sambojjhaṅga. Piti is rapture or joy. Paitai normally associates with 51 types of consciousness, but here, just 38 types. What are they? To begin, they are the combined 8 types of Mahakusala and Mahakirya Somanasa. This 171 Las Vegas Sayadaw is the 4 types of sense sphere wholesome consciousness accompanied by pleasurable feeling, and the 4 types of sense sphere functional consciousness accompanied by pleasurable feeling. Do you remember this from the first chapter of the first book? Okay. The 38 types also includes the combined 3 types of Rupavikara, form sphere, first Jhana, second Jhana, and third Jhana, wholesome consciousness. It doesn't include resultant consciousness, just wholesome and functional consciousness. Do you remember when we studied form sphere consciousness? They have first Jhana, second Jhana, and third Jhana, wholesome consciousness, and first Jhana, second Jhana, and third Jhana, functional consciousness. There's no resultant consciousness taken here. We're talking here about the factors of enlightenment. Vipaka-citta cannot function as part of a meditation practice. That's why we're only taking wholesome and functional consciousness. What are the factors of the first Jhana? Vitaka, Vikara, Piti, and so on. What about the second Jhana? Vikara, Piti, and so on. The third Jhana starts with Piti. Can you see how Piti associates only with the first, second, and third form sphere Jhanas? The fourth Jhana starts from Sukha with no Piti, so we can call the first, second, and third Jhana by the term Jhavana. Jhavana is not Vipaka, not resultant. It is just wholesome and functional consciousness. So if we take the 3 types of Rupavikara wholesome consciousness and the 3 types of Rupavikara functional consciousness, that's 6 types of consciousness. Plus, we had the 4 types of sense sphere wholesome Somanasa-citta and the 4 types of sense sphere functional Somanasa-citta we already talked about. That's a total of 14 types of consciousness. Next, we add the 8 types of supramundane first Jhana consciousness, the 8 types of supramundane second Jhana consciousness, and the 8 types of supramundane third Jhana consciousness. That's 24 types of consciousness. These, plus the 14 types we just talked about, totals 38 types of consciousness. PT associating with these 38 types of consciousness is called PT Seven Bojjhaṅga. Can you see why you weren't supposed to forget when we studied consciousness in the first chapter of the first book? 5. Passaddhi Sambojjhaṅga 172 Bodhipakya Sangaha. This is quietude or tranquility of the mind. Its reality is passaddhi, kaya passaddhi, and chitta passaddhi. When we studied the second chapter of the first book, we learned about these. Kaya passaddhi and chitta passaddhi are mental states, or cetasika. They are calmness, serenity, or tranquility. This passaddhi is in 42 types of consciousness, same as sati. Do you remember kaya passaddhi and chitta passaddhi? 6. Samadhi Sambojjhaṅga. This is concentration. Its reality is ekagata cetasika. It associates with 42 types of consciousness, same as sati. 7. Upekkha Sambojjhaṅga. This is equanimity, or neutrality of mind. Its reality is tatra majjhatata cetasika, which is one kind of mental factor. Tatra majjhatata is in 42 types of consciousness. Tatra majjhatata is equanimity. In the second chapter of the first book, we studied the 52 types of mental states, right? This is one of them. When we talk about the 4 sublime Brahma Vihara, we talk about metta, karuna, mudita, and upekkha. Upekkha is tatra majjhatata. It's not a feeling, it's equanimity. So these are the 7 Bojjhaṅga. We experience these when we practice meditation well. The first one is sati, or awareness. You know if you have good mindfulness, right? Before you do something, know your mind first. Whatever you do, have good sati. In terms of Bojjhaṅga, you will experience this good mindfulness. The second one is investigation of truth. This is seeing mind and matter as they truly are. You'll know, oh, this arises and disappears, comes and goes away. It doesn't last long. It's impermanent. You will know this when you practice meditation well and gain Udayabhaya Jnana, the knowledge that sees arising and disappearing. The third one is Virya. Here, your energy is not like it was before. It's now so strong. The fourth one is Piti. Some of you have experienced rapture before. We have 5 kinds of Piti. When there is Bojjhaṅga, you will experience one of these 5 kinds of rapture. 1, 7, 3, Las Vegas Sayadaw. The fifth one is Passaddhi, or tranquility of mind. The body will feel light and tranquil too. Your body and mind will experience this. The sixth one is concentration. You will have good concentration. You will know that today's concentration was not like yesterday's concentration. You will notice an improvement in your concentration. The last one is upekkha, or equanimity. In the past, you would have gotten angry if you encountered an undesirable object, or craving would occur if the object was desirable. Now, there's no love or hate. There is just equanimity. You will experience all of these constituents of enlightenment when you practice meditation. Not in the beginning, of course. When you reach Udayabhaya Jnana, step by step, you will gain concentration and see impermanence, suffering, and non-self. Especially you will see the arising and disappearing of mind and matter. Then you will experience these 7 kinds of Bojjhaṅga. These 7 Bojjhaṅga are like the 5 mental faculties, in that we sometimes need to adjust them. When we studied the mental faculties, we learned that our faith and wisdom should be balanced, right? Our concentration and effort should also be balanced. Well, it's the same thing with Bojjhaṅga. Investigation, effort, and rapture must sometimes be adjusted with tranquility, concentration, and equanimity. As I've told you, if we have too much investigation, effort, and rapture, we will become agitated. If there's too much tranquility, concentration, and equanimity, we become sluggish and drowsy. These 2 groups should be balanced. Of course, sati doesn't need to be balanced with any factors. Now, I'd like to briefly share about how to develop these Bojjhaṅga, or constituents of enlightenment. Sati. To gain mindfulness, what do we need? 1. Constant noting of one's motion. We should always be aware of our daily physical activities. 2. Associating with the mindful. There are many things we can do, but I just told you 2. 1. 7.4 Bodhipakkhya Sangha Dhammavitsaya. What do we need to do to develop investigation of the truth? We need to balance between saddha, faith, wisdom, effort, concentration, and so on. Virya. What do we need to develop our effort? 1. Contemplating the dangers of the woeful states of existence, keeping in mind the benefit of energy. 2. Contemplating the greatness of the path and fruition. Contemplating the dangers of the woeful states of existence means that as we are now human beings, we have opportunities to do good things, like practice meditation. If we are unfortunate enough to be reborn in a woeful state after death, we will have no opportunity to practice meditation, because we will have to suffer all the time. As human beings, we sometimes come across painful feelings or sensations, but this is quite different from what we would experience in the woeful states. Why do we practice meditation? To gain enlightenment. If you gain the first stage of enlightenment, you will never again be reborn in a woeful state. If you think about this, energy and effort will arise. It's also good to bear in mind the benefit of having energy. If you use your energy when you practice meditation, you will get the result. No mental defilements will come to interfere with or disturb your mind. As for contemplating the greatness of the path and fruition, it's helpful to reflect that we can gain Magga path and Phala fruition through our practice of meditation. If we gain even the first stage of enlightenment, we will have to be reborn no more than 7 more times. And, of course, we could have gone to hell upon death if our wrong actions in the past gave their results. But when you gain enlightenment, the door to the woeful states is closed. So think about these things. If you do, you'll want to try the best you can. These are good ways to develop your virya. 175.